Hello, welcome on the webinar Making a Webinar with Microsoft Teams. My name is Coen and with my colleague Christoph, we work for LAC in Belgium. We will explain the basics of how to make a webinar in Microsoft Teams. We won't get into the details, we will just explain enough so you can make a webinar yourselves. Microsoft Teams has an option to host and schedule webinars in its professional version of Office 365. Check your own version to see if you have this option. If not, then the following is not for you. If you want to make a webinar, you must be prepared before you start presenting the webinar itself. First things first, you must prepare for the next things. The subject, of course, this is a simple one. Finished presentations of everything you want to show, PowerPoint, film, Word docs, whatever. If you want to go on internet, you can show that on the next screen. You can show movements, films, anything you want. You can, no obligation, write out the complete text or freewheel, but know what you want to say. Moments can be horrible and disturbing. You'll need at least a laptop or computer with a camera and a mic. Microsoft Teams, as told before, and a steady connection with the internet. Most of the experts say that a Wi-Fi connection is no good. We say this depends. Try it out more than once. Never risk to use a Wi-Fi connection you never tried out before. This is very important. Then you need a space where you can present your webinar. Best is to have a neutral background. The very best is a green screen or something like it, like I have behind me on the picture. No strong lights behind you. A light on you is even better. Bad background, bad lighting, and bad sound give a horrible effect, and you must be very interested to continue watching. The simplest way to stay is to stay at your desk. If there is no rumor, no bad lighting or whatever, and present from there. But in the end, when you do more webinars, this can be a bit boring. Now we will start with the real work. Go to Teams by internet, on your computer or whatever, and sign in. When you are signed in, you click on Calendar. In the right side corner, you'll see a button, New Meeting. Click on it and click on the side flash on the scroll down menu, and there you see the webinar button. A new page will open. On this page, you can give your webinar a title and, if necessary or required, enter presenters or a presenter. You are the lead presenter, organizer, and do not need to add yourselves here. In the text box, you can write general information. This is for you and the other organizers, not for the public. So the public won't see this text. Now you click on View Registration Form. This is a link, and another page will open. On this page, you can upload a picture for your webinar, but before anything, look how it's placed by clicking on View in Browser. It can be strange, it can leave open on the side openings or whatever. And then you fill in the details required for, like, the starting date. The starting date must always be in the future. And this must be the same as in the first field, webinar. Add the description. This is for the general public. So make it crystal clear so everybody knows what this webinar is about. Then make up the sign-in form on the site. You can add as many fields as you want. In the end, when you have done everything, you save. Further, you click on copy registration link. This link you can paste in an email, on a webinar, or on social media, based on whom you want to reach. Now click on View in Browser again to see if everything is okay. You can check that there's nothing missing. Go back to the page Webinar and click on Send. So these pages are saved. Then you go to the calendar. Find the date of the webinar that you have just entered, and you can open it by clicking on the appointment and then click on Join. When you have clicked on Join, you get a black field and you can see if your camera and mic are working as they must be working. When this is okay, you click again on Join Now. Now you are in the webinar, but it's not active for the public. To record this version, you'll have to click on the Start Meeting button. Don't worry, no one will join the webinar at this moment, except those you have told to join now for testing. You will thus be testing without an audience. You will see in the flash up field 0 or more people that will be attending. You will get the following screen with you in the side corner. Click on the 3 dots and bring on screen. Now, if you are giving your webinar, people can see you. If you don't click on the 3 dots, people won't see you. Following up, I will explain the most important buttons on the top band. First, the chat button. All chats will be presented on the side of your working field area. They will appear there and you can, or someone else can react on the chats or the questions that are posted there. Then you take the button People. This is a button for the participants. No, this is a button that will tell you if which people are present on the site, on the website, and if your people shows all the people that are present on the site of your working field. I'm losing myself also. React is a button for the participants to give a reaction on questions or remarks. You can see you can choose more reactions. The 3 dots and more button you can use for background effects. As you can see now, first I was on a green screen and now I have some kind of a, I don't know, house with a window or whatever behind me. The most used background is the blur function. As I already told you, you have to test it and look out what your image will do. And if you don't lose some body parts or whatever, hair, glasses, whatever. You can choose from the presented backgrounds or load up a picture you've made yourselves. The camera on/off button. Depending if you want to be seen, you can put your camera on or off. That's simple. For example, if you are presenting something and you don't want to be seen. A mic on/off button. This is the same. For example, when you play something and you are or when you are coughing or whatever, then you can just for a small moment close your mic. Then we have a very important button, the share button. When you click on share, you can share anything that is on your computer, not on someone else's computer, on your computer, and show it to the participants. PowerPoints, Word files, internet, whatever. I'm going to show you now the PowerPoint. If you go to Browse My Computer, for example, you can open a PowerPoint and you can present it to the public. You will see this presentation with, on the top left side, the active slide. That's the slide that's been seen by all the public. Underneath, you see the past and the coming slides. The active slide is the one with the orange band around it. On the right side are all the notes that you made in PowerPoint as a presenter. Between the two areas, there are a slide bar with which you can scroll through the slides, and pointers like a laser pointer used now, or a pen, a highlighter, or an eraser. One extra, and for some people usable thing, is to be found under the 3 dots, more actions. In this bar, you can click on Translate Slides and choose a language in which you want to translate your PowerPoint. There are a lot of choices, but not all languages are present. For example, you translate your PowerPoint to Portuguese and zap, it's done. Yes? Watch out. If you want to use this, beware that maybe the layout will change a little bit or a lot, or the translation might not be 100% correct. It's an automatic translation. You can't change it. When you are done testing, you click on the arrow besides the Leave button. Not on the Leave button, but the arrow besides the Leave button. And then you click on Finish the meeting. When you click the Leave button, you will leave the webinar. But we have experienced that sometimes there's a bug in the system, and when you as organizer leave the webinar, it will not be closed, thus stays open to everyone whom has an invitation or was already in it. And we don't know when it will stop. And even better, sometimes you won't be able to re-enter in your own webinar anymore. So don't do this. One of the disadvantages of making a webinar in this way is, though you have a film for the webinar, nothing else but the setup file and the registration file, and of course the film that you can make, are saved. When you start up your webinar, you will have to present everything, to preset everything again and give the webinar. Now the moment has come to give your webinar. You can send a reminder with a link to the webinar if you want, but sometimes before you start it officially, not 5 minutes, take an hour, 2 hours, or whatever. Then you'll open the webinar, like when we tested it. If everything is okay, take a certain time before officially starting the webinar and to open the webinar, you push on the button Start Meeting. All the invitees can enter now. You will see under People whom is already present, and you'll do whatever you've tested to give the webinar. At the end of the webinar, don't forget to end the webinar by the procedure we have already explained to you before. Of course, there are many things we didn't explain, like how to manage a chat, etc. We advise you to play with the thing and learn. If wanted, we can always make an extra expert version for the people, but then it has to be asked to us. We thank you for being here and hope to see you next time. When you have still questions, you can put them in the chat. We will be available for the next 15 minutes for responses. Thank you and bye from me and Christoph.